Good morning, everybody. This is Judith Hope. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, these days, I think my nervous system is finally settling down because while I have a tremendous amount of difficulty staying asleep the whole night, I am able to get good sleep. I wake up at some point, but then when I go back to sleep, I'm no longer getting up at like 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to. So I don't. And I'm an early morning person naturally, but I think my body is finally recovering from about at least 4 years of pretty intensive sleep disruption. Part of it is menopause, but a lot of it was I had to get up and do something about my mom. I was just remembering when I was in her bathroom, like she could spend hours in her bathroom. And there was one day I actually let her. I mean, I knew there wasn't anything dangerous in there, and she was just messing around and meddling and, uh, you know, folding the same pieces of paper over and over again, like just really weird things. And I had forgotten all about that because really the last year, the hospice year, is the year that's most in my memory because it was so dramatic. You know, for her, it was uh, lots and lots of rage in the beginning, lots of hitting, lots of screaming for help. She was afraid of the bathroom, so you have to push her pretty much in the bathroom and force her onto the toilet when she was still walking. At the end, by this time last year, she had stopped walking. She was in some pain, and it was rough, but she was recognizing people and talking more. She became more lucid from September through the end of the year. She had more memories and she knew who people were. She knew who I was for sure. And she recognized my sister when she was visiting. And I mean, it was a tough year. And it's a tough disease. I made the announcement on my newsletter. I'm going to stop doing it at the end of the year. It's been very cathartic for me. I've enjoyed writing it. Uh, and it's very well received by the small amount of people that read it. But without people signing up and spreading the word, it just didn't grow fast enough. And because it's free, I'm not sure that it's a return on any investment of my time. I love helping people and I love feeling better, but it's quite a undertaking. Four newsletters a month. That's every Sunday. But I've poured my heart and soul into them, and the knowledge is evergreen. It's not going to go away. You're still going to have to figure out all these things for your family. Um, but it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, people don't read this newsletter, or they're not signing up for this newsletter the same way they don't listen to my podcast. The stuff about caregiving is not hot. People don't want to talk about it. They're in deep denial about it. So I get it, but it was good for me and it's helped a lot of people. And hopefully it'll be out there. These podcasts will be out there and people will find them in the middle of the night. Unlike me, I couldn't find anything. I had to Google for months. And the only good thing about Alzheimer's is whatever you're going through, there's another family that's gone through it. And people say, well, you can join a group. I was working full time. I was working full time. I only had a helper when I was at work. So I didn't see any benefit in hiring somebody to come sit here while I went to meetings. It shouldn't be that difficult anyway. You know what I mean? It should be um, systems in place that are there to help you with what you need. Not I'm sitting at meetings and getting support. I didn't need a support group. I needed a support bank. I needed people with the money. I needed people who wanted to come in here and take a shift, for free. And not everything attached to this, like everything in America, is so expensive. It costs so much money. And it's like, I was set up for my life. I wasn't set up to take care of an aging, elderly, ill person. And most of you aren't. And some of you won't. I mean, that's a realization I've had too. Some of you don't even see yourselves doing it. So why sign up for a newsletter? You don't even care, you know, and your parents don't care. No one cares. until it's time to care, and then you'll be too late. But it is what it is, and I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not bitter about it. Like I said, it was very cathartic for me to get all of that out. And it also showed a lot of people what I went through. They had no idea. But it was quite the undertaking. And I recognize a lot of people aren't going to do it, and that's okay. Just have some sort of plan. Have some sort of idea what you're going to do, and then just do that. So this 3-eye atlas thing is coming, and it should be here. It's traveling so fast. It's definitely something interstellar. That's what the I stands for. And people are losing their minds. Like traditional scientists have no explanation for this thing that's moving so fast through space. It's coming from a different, um, I want to say galaxy. I'm not sure. I don't follow those things that much, but people are really freaking out because they've never seen an object that can move this fast. They believe it's from uh, an ancient galaxy or something. I can't describe it. You need to look it up. It's uh I think it's 3IA, and it's fascinating. So don't look up the scientists. They're crazy. They don't know what to make of it. And people are like, it's the end of the world. It's over. It's all kind of, then you've got all these people who aren't scientists at all. They're pontificating. But if you listen to the spiritual people, it's really fascinating because they believe, and I tend to believe with them, that this is the great spiritual reset we've all been waiting for. And this uh, thing is moving at so much speed, and it's going to get so close to the sun that all these things that affect our planet up in the heavens, or in whatever we call that. I forgot what we call it. I'm so tired. I don't know why. I slept great. I slept a long time. But up in outer space, you know, I watched my mom get affected by the moon and the sun, and eclipses, and she had sundowners, and like the position of the sun at a certain time of the day, she just went off the rails. I know this stuff has an effect on us. The moon affects the tides. We're made up of water. Why wouldn't this stuff affect us? So anyway, they believe that as this thing gets closer to the sun and like charges the sun, it's going to not only change the Schumann resonance, which is the sound of the earth. There's a frequency that the earth has. It's also going to enlighten people who are, you're not even gonna, if you're paying attention and meditating and involved to that degree, yes, you will be enlightened, and you will know you've been enlightened. If you're just, hody hody ho, you'll be enlightened too. You just won't know that's what's happening to you. And you know what I've been saying? I've been saying, like, hold on, we need something like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Harrison Ford is screaming at us to not look at it as it sucks evil out of the earth. Um, Spiritually, it feels like it's going to be like that, and so I'm here for it because we need a reset. We need an upgrade. I posted over the weekend just an innocuous post. I don't get a lot of TikTok views. I made an innocuous post about let's skip Christmas. I've said it on this podcast a million times. Let's skip Christmas to really show, our political heft. No king's court either, is what I put it. So these crazy bots and MAGA people, and maybe they're all bots. I don't know. You had a few logical people be like, "Oh, that makes total sense." Then you had a few people be like, yeah, I donate all my Christmas money to charity, da da da. And then you had these crazies. Why? I mean, they just went nuts. And I'm like, these aren't real people. A lot of these cannot be real people. And if they are, I feel sorry for them because I couldn't care less about either political party. I think they're both corrupt. And I think they both hate us, people who actually have to get up every day and go to work. They love scamming us. They love pretending to care about us, but they're really like the worst boyfriends we've ever had. So TikTok is messy. So they put that thing, it's got 30,000 views. But I'm not backing down on it. I couldn't care less about either Trump or anybody else. I wasn't a fan of Biden either. I think both political parties are completely corrupted. Anybody who listens to this podcast knows that. And I have receipts. Look at APAC. They are all completely bought off and paid for. And I think TikTok is very interesting. They promote things that aren't anti Israel. I believe it. I believe if you're not saying something bad about Israel, they're going to throw it out there. Anything to keep people from talking about Israel. Because the new owners of TikTok are very pro Israel. Larry Ellison is super pro Israel, and he's one of the richest men on the planet. But he also worked for the CIA. A lot of, well, maybe not the CIA. I can't remember, but a lot of these tech people, I think Oracle is a CIA database originally. I'm not sure. You have to Google that. But almost all of these guys are defense contractors first. Larry Ellison, uh, Mark, what's his name, Zuckerberg. They all have huge, giant contracts with the government, and that's a big part of how they make their money. And they spy on us for the government, in case you were wondering. So these are interesting times, and I believe we need a cosmic reset. I listen to a lot of Dolores Cannon. Um, she spoke a lot about star seeds and people being born in waves, and the perfect people being alive at the perfect time for things like this. And yeah, I'm here for it. We need a reset. I don't think it was ever designed to be like this. No matter what theory you believe about how we came to be, I don't think it was supposed to be us uh, at the whim of millionaires, and, well, not even millionaires, billionaires, who are so greedy and so drunk on power, and other planets, other beings on other planets. You can't think we're the only one. Have a very vested interest in us not blowing ourselves up and creating a vacuum in the universe. So Dolores Cannon talked about that all the time. She was like, yeah, other beings have a real interest in making sure us, the new kids on the block, don't just destroy the block, because other galaxies and other other galaxies, other planets, other universes, you know, count on us to hold up our end. And I don't think I don't think you have to be a alien expert to recognize that we're not doing a great job. We're at each other's throats practically. And I can prove it because they say crazy shit on TikTok, and it's like, what are you even mad about? You're so busy trusting Trump. He doesn't have your interest at heart, and I'm not prepared to say that everything he's done is wrong. I've always said that. He's almost always the wrong messenger, but there are things he's done that this tax code sounds great. If you were a person that used to have to like uh get your overtime taxed, or if you got tips, you had to declare those and get those taxed. I mean, I'm not saying he's dead ass wrong on everything, but I don't care for him as a president, and I don't think his best interest lies with the people. But I do think it's an interesting wrinkle that you'll get a tax break if you buy a car that was made in America or finished in America. I mean, that's actually kind of admirable. I don't know that that'll ever be something I will take advantage of. I'm not sure where my cars are made, but I like Audis, so I don't know. But I think that's an admirable first step. Unfortunately, though, you can't think you can bring back the industrial age to America, because no one would be able to afford the stuff. And Clinton and those guys, they shipped it out of America a long time ago. If you look at where your clothes are made, I mean, they're even finding different countries than China, you know, but I guess because you can really just not pay people. So, like I said, if we get a spiritual reset and upgrade and all this nonsense and chaos goes away, no one will be more happy about that than I will, because I'm tired of being a logical person and watching logic just mean nothing. It just circles the drain because people are so brainwashed. If everybody could wake up and see, like, you're the truth, you're the way, you're the light, it's in you, you're the powerful one. If you could wake up and realize just how much control you have when you're feeling like you have none, then, like I said, I'm here for that. And I'm ready for it because this has been very, very difficult to watch and be a part of. We're amazing humans, and we're even more than we know. The goal right now is to wake up and remember how great you are. God made you in his image and likeness, which means you ought to be able to do a whole lot of something, and stop believing with all these people telling you you can't. They just use your energy and they use your ignorance against you. So bring it on, 3AI or whatever it is, 3IA. Look it up. It's fascinating. We're at the end of October. I cannot believe it. This year has flown by. It's been a tough year, but it went quickly, thankfully. Take care of yourselves, and we'll meet back here soon. Be well.